Good evening. My name is Katya Coelho, and I will be speaking about my journey on becoming India's first woman windfoiler. At the age of 2, where most kids are learning to walk and talk, I was learning to swim. And that is where I busted the illusion of fear. And today, I venture far out into the deep blue ocean, where I can't even see the shoreline behind me, and it feels like second home. When I think about the number of times I won the nationals, not once, not twice, but 19 times, or about how I became the only Indian or about how I became the only Indian to qualify at the Youth Olympics, I questioned how did I do it? Well, it took me only 13 years of dedication, commitment, sacrifices, training my body to physically cope with the sport, but most importantly, training my mind to overcome the obstacles along the way. As David Goggins says, your mind is the most powerful weapon on earth. And if you can't control your mind, that is where the problem arises. I learned early on in life that you can't control the situations around you, but what you can control is your reaction to the situations you're in. Not too long ago, I was at the Asian Games trials, and we had 6 crucial qualifying rounds. We had to travel out of state with our equipment, and we had to do these trials 6 times. Each trial consisted of 15 to 18 races, which would last for about a week. The weather and water in Mumbai, as most of you might be aware of. So these were difficult conditions we had to sail in, and I managed to win these trials, which meant I qualified the country for the second time consecutively at the Asian Games, being the only Indian woman to ever do so. But at the 11th hour, I wasn't sent to compete. I was devastated, I was broken. I felt like I was robbed of an opportunity. I felt betrayed. And at this point, I was left with 2 options. I could either whine and cry about the situation I'm in, dwell in self-pity, blame the people around me, and question why me? Why is this happening to me? Or I could pick myself up again, take it up as a challenge, get stronger, and say, bring it on. When you hit rock bottom, you can't go lower than that. You need to rise up again from that situation. And that is exactly what I did. I worked double, long hours. I trained more on refining my skills on water. I would watch YouTube videos of what the other sailors are doing to get better and faster. And that is what I did. And 2 months after this incident, I proved myself at the 37th National Games by winning all the races and dominating the fleet and bringing back home the gold for my state. The gold that added to the medal tally, bringing Goa to the top 10 for the first time in history. When I was at my lowest, my mother said to me, "You can do this. You are stronger than this." And it all spiraled from there, a small thought of self-belief, into believing that, yes, I can do this. As an athlete, I feel like the easy part is training physically. We have a schedule and a timetable in place. On Mondays we can do upper body, on Tuesdays we can do legs, and I feel like there's nothing that can go wrong with this schedule. It's universal. But the question is, how do you train your mind? You achieve this by changing and altering your daily life habits. You start by giving gratitude for the things you have and not complain about the things that you don't. I'm grateful for my legs. I can walk. It takes me places. I'm grateful for my voice. I can speak and inspire. And when you start to give thanks for the smaller things, you truly understand and acknowledge the magnitude of the bigger things in life, and you understand how truly blessed you really are. The decisions you make today are the consequences you're going to be facing tomorrow. I started working out and following a regime when I was 11 years old. And had I not started then, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. How many of you here have dreams? Dreams of becoming something, right? We all do. But let me tell you something. A dream is just a dream until you start working towards it. I dreamt of the Olympic rings as a kid, and I worked towards it. At the age of 11, at the age of 12, my parents had this routine for me. And with hard work, I was able to accomplish this dream. When I then went on to qualify at the Youth Olympics as one of the youngest sailors there, it felt like a family victory for us because we all worked to this collectively. I remember as a kid, I wasn't allowed to have junk food as and when I pleased. And my dad being my coach, he kept a keen eye on what I ate, even on my cheat meals. So when I then qualified, it felt like a collective effort. I recall my days of preparation as a teenager at 17. I would wake up in the morning, go to the gym, then go to school, have my lunch in the car, and then go on to sail because I lived 45 minutes away from where I train. And this was my routine for quite some time. So I didn't really have the time to do the normal things teenagers talk about today. And trust me, not a bone in my body regrets it. I recall my days of preparation. I remember there was this kid's birthday party at school. And there was this delicious, heavenly chocolate cake. And everybody was having a piece of it. And I remember saying, no, I can't have it. Because I had this tunnel vision ahead of me that this is the end goal. This is how strong I need to get. And I had just that ahead of me. And these are the decisions we need to make, filtering out what's taking us away from our dreams and focusing on what is taking us one step closer. If you want to achieve something in life, you need to say it. I will be CEO of this company, or I will crack that NEET exam. And you need to believe that you will, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe you're capable of doing it. These barriers we talk about today are often just illusions in our mind. Why are some of us able to achieve what we want and some of us not? Because we are scared. We are scared of failure, of judgment, of rejection. And all of this stems from the core of self-doubt. Do you know that our mental and emotional limits are actually way before our physical limits? So if you say it today, I can do just 10 push-ups. By the time you're done with the 9th or the 10th push-up, your body will automatically give up because your mind sends out a signal that 10 is your limit. But your physical limit could actually be more than 15 or 20, and some of us don't even reach our physical limits because of these barriers, these illusions we create for ourselves. If you say it in your mind that this is too difficult and I'm not going to be able to do this, you're training your mind to not even imagine and explore the capabilities you have within. Windsurfing is a difficult sport, right? It is an extreme sport to begin with. It's in the forces of nature. Don't be fooled by my small stature. I've sailed in wind conditions gusting up to 30 knots, flying across the ocean with waves that seemed like they were bigger than me. I've sailed in extreme cold waters of Europe where my hands were numb, but I would still be holding on to dear life because the water felt like it was colder. I've sailed in extreme heat waves in Mumbai and Chennai where the skin of my face felt like it was peeling off, but I would still be pumping to the finish line because there was competition behind me, and not just the female competitors. I also always considered the male competitors competition for me, considering the less amount of female competitors in India. Windsurfing is also one of the most difficult sports in the Olympics. It requires you to be extremely physically fit, right from your fingertips till your toes, because you're in constant movement and you're constantly balancing. It's like playing chess on water. You need to be making the right decisions at the right time. There's a lot of physics involved as well about the angles. And you're doing all of this thinking and maths while still balancing, going in full speed. And had I thought about all of this when I was a kid at 11, I probably would have said, yep, this isn't for me. I would have probably given up before I even tried. But as my dad says, quite literally in my case, you need to go with the flow. You need to take it one day at a time, one challenge at a time. The races, the wars are not won on water, but are won up here. In 2018, at my stint at the Asian Games, when my brother and I qualified as the first Indians, we were having a blast. But during one of the races, I had a terribly bad fall, and I twisted my knees, tearing my ACL in my right knee. And I felt excruciating pain at this point, and I was not even able to walk. An injury is known as an end to an athlete's career, or they say you'll never really be the same. But I told myself at that moment, because I had faith, and I said that I will come out of this situation stronger than before. This is just a mere speed bump in the way and in the road of my success. I opted no for surgery because I still wanted to compete. With professional guidance, I worked on building the muscles around my knees. And I felt like at that moment, the pain I'm feeling today is very small compared to the dreams I had for me and for my country. And till today, I sail with an ACL tear, but in my best shape ever, physically and mentally. My message to the dreamers here today: the world is full of opportunities. Embrace the challenges, because that's what's going to make you stronger, and that is what builds character. Greatness is not about never failing, but about rising every time you fall. So stay curious, stay bold, but most importantly, stay true to yourself and your ethics. To do something extraordinary in life, we all need that little spark, right? That little magic. And believe me, that magic is found in each and every one of you, right up here. Thank you. Thank you.